We've seen 7 years of basically capital investments collapsing. We've seen high grading. We see output basically falling. We see very few good quality assets bringing new production on stream. So on the one side, we have a supply story emerging into the next 2 or 3 years on all these elements you basically mentioned before. On the other side, what we have is an international currency disaster since 2009. We've got zero interest rates, and we have now negative real rates growing as the economies are coming through a bit, and we see the commodity boom market coming back. So we've done a bottom between 2015 and 17, depending which element you see. We start seeing now exported inflation coming out of China into the rest of the world, creating inflationary structures. And the third thing is going to be the US dollar, which right now is getting revamped as the global economy is looking to get more bipolar instead of a dollar asset story. And the fourth one is trust. How can you believe that central banks are in control of things if interest rates are zero and you're depriving savers, basically the basic structure of capitalism? Trust in governments that we have a recovery, that you get new great jobs. And if the trust basically comes out, you have a pool of money, $220 trillion, which sits in fixed income, is looking for a home to get the yield. So all the pension funds, everybody is trying to grab yield. So it goes into equities, you see a melt up in equity prices. And you see with that as well, the hedge structure coming back, which is gold. And I think the gold structure has now moved to levels where the East has taken so much physical off the market that the COMEX is not able to deliver anymore. They are settling the contracts in London against pay. And that basically tells you the market is already in backwardation. And that's true for gold, silver, many of the metals which are basically really in very hard, difficult supply situations.
Okay, so help me understand one of the major drivers here. And you mentioned this just before. It has been that weaker greenback. So why is the dollar so persistently weak in this environment?
If the global trade shifts more and more away from using US dollars, like China is basically building more and more contracts which are settling in one, the market is moving east. There's a lot of inter-regional trade which is not using dollars anymore. So why would you have all your money into US dollars? If you look at your swap rates, let's say you are a German investor and you want to invest into US paper and you want to swap that back into euros in order to take the currency risk out, you're losing money. Why would you invest? You need to have a spread in order to go abroad. You need a better investment environment to do this trade. So all that money will not participate into this hype of dollar.